Atinva, good morning. My name is Scott Ann Scalacha and I'm going to tell you about Slow Scotland. What is a Slow Scotland tour? Well, firstly, the name is inspired by the Italian slow food movement, being the opposite of fast food. So you might say it is Scotland enjoyed slowly, richly and in good company. It's more of a retreat than a tour, particularly because of the time of year that it takes place. So why do I choose the first couple of weeks in November for Slow Scotland? It's because there's a particular atmosphere in the place, and I'll explain that. The summer tourists have gone, the children are back in school, so there's no screaming mimes. The people, especially those who work in the hospitality trade, it's as if they breathe a big sigh of relief because they can see the end of the season is nigh. So there's a less frenetic energy in Scotland at that time. But most importantly, the landscape itself also gives this big sigh of relief. The harvest is in, the leaves change colour, the fecund smell of the earth rises. What's the weather like in November? This is a question I'm often asked by people. What's the weather like in the winter in Scotland? As if the weather in the summer is somehow better? Don't you read the press? So generally in November it's a bit cooler than the summer. It's about 10 degrees C, which is about 50 to 60 Fahrenheit. In the summer it's not 10 degrees C, it's 16, 17, 18, maybe 20 on a good day. So it gives you a sense. There can be rain and wind, but we get that in all seasons apart from spring. In November there can be mist even. But generally what I would say is that it's just a bit cooler and there is the rich dampness of the autumn. What do we do on a Slow Scotland vacation? Well, firstly, there's no sense in needing to get someplace fast because I programme one accommodation for the duration. The activities are chosen to create a sense of relaxation, of unwinding, of me time. So walking, photography, crafts, food, maybe bicycles or horseback, trad music, theatre performances, that sort of thing. Food plays a big part in Slow Scotland through a combination of dining in local places that show something particular from our cuisine, to perhaps working with a local chef, to food foraging in the wild, to cooking for ourselves indoors or out. The activities that I decide to programme on any given incarnation of Slow Scotland depend on a few things. Firstly, any suggestions made by the guests when they book on of things that would make a kind of perfect relaxing retreat for them. Secondly, what's available when I start to programme a unique tour. And thirdly, what do I fancy doing? Because this is a bit of a retreat and a vacation at the end of the season for me too. Whatever I decide to programme, what you will know is you're going to love it. That said, all the activities are optional. If you want to walk the river path by yourself with your journal and a camera and a box of watercolours and meet us in the evening, that's completely fine. Why I created Slow Scotland? Well, at the end of every tourism summer season, when all our guests have returned home, Sam and I will be out walking in some of the most beautiful scenery in the world, made more beautiful by the rich change of autumn. And I will be asking every year the same question. Why can't we share this aspect of Scotland with our friends, with our guests? I've been asking this question for years, wondering how I can persuade visitors to come to Scotland outside the usual summer season. So, Slow Scotland is my invitation to you.